Howard here with part 2 of Over the Hills and Far Away as promised. There's a link below to part 1 which covers the whole acoustic intro bit. And so let's just dive in. I'm going to cover the electric guitar parts essentially, minus the solo, which I'll do in a separate video due to the extensive tab and details to explain how he did it all. So let's get going. So right out the gate here, we've got some crashing chords in classic Zeppelin style. We've got a G, and I'm playing the 4-fingered G. I'll explain a couple of different ways you can approach that in just a second. But it's G to D, and then D to A. And you want to do that with just down, up, down, up. That's probably the best approach to it. And you can also just play like, what I'm doing there is I'm just including the first 4 strings of the G chord, E, B, G, and D. And that's kind of cool because you can just kind of go, you can also just hit the open D, G, and B strings. Any of these ways is pretty cool. It happens so quick that you're not really going to notice a big difference. But if you want to do the full chord, that sounds cool too. And then we've got a power chord at the 3rd fret, 3rd fret on the 6th string, 5th fret on the A string, and I like to include the pinky on the 5th fret on the D string, but you can play it with just the 2-finger style if you want as well. It's perfectly fine. I like the little fullness that the 3-finger job gives it. And you can approach this. You're just pounding away very staccato. I'm muting back here, palm muting. And you can approach that with just downstrokes if you want, or alternate strokes, or a combination of both, which is what I do. Okay, so we've got. And then we move to an A chord, and this is not a full A chord. I'm just using the A string, the D string, and the G string. And the note that I'm moving to is the 4th fret on the D string. You can see this all on the tab, of course, but just giving you a little extra insight here. Now you play this whole section twice. And then you move to the riff. And so on. Now, the trick on this riff, it's not particularly difficult to play. You can see it up on the tab. In fact, I'll play it slow right now. But there's definitely some palm muting going on back here, a little bit of dampening. And again, it's on the upbeat, so I like to approach it like that in my right hand. Again, just getting inside the pocket of the riff. Up, 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 down, 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 up, down, up. Up, 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 down, up, down, down, up, down, up. I think it's cool to lock your right hand in with the syncopated rhythm of whatever it is you're playing. If the stuff is happening on the upbeat, then that's kind of where you want to be. If it's happening on the downbeat, you want to be there. Not as a 100% rule all the time, but kind of a good practice, okay? And then that whole section becomes a bit of a loop, right? It gets repeated. But as we move into the pre-solo section, which you can look at as sort of a little mini bridge or whatever, we don't play this. We play this one extra time. So as we move into that pre-solo section, before we go there, we play it like this. That's what the rhythm guitar plays, and we'll talk about the lead that goes over the top of that. And then Jimmy moves into a couple of country-flavored licks, actually, over the chords, not unlike him at all. And I like to play it in one area, or for the most part in one area on the guitar, because it's a classic country lick, and I think it's good to learn how to play it both off of the B string and the G string. So let's talk about that lick a little bit, okay? I'm doing a full step bend on the B string at the 10th fret. Hold the bend, grab the E string with your pinky also on the 10th fret. And then release the bend. And actually in the recording, you can hear Jimmy give that a little bit of a jerk, so you can add that in there if you want to. Or just, it's not a huge difference between the two, but just letting you know that it's there. Then we kind of do the same thing off of the G string, but of course with the way the guitar is tuned, our pinky is going to grab the 10th fret on the B string while our ring finger is actually bending the 9th fret on the G string. But it's the same lick. And you can jerk the string around if you want to. So we go, and then we play this. And you can hear Jimmy kind of almost, it's hard to tell in the recording exactly, but it sounds like he might do a little bit of a pickup note. Or you can play it any way you want to, or just the way it's written on the tab. So you hammer, and I just flick my finger down to catch that 9th fret on the G string. And he's got a couple of guitars playing this section. They double the part and then they trail off into harmony. So I've just added both of them here for you. Then you slide up to the 12th fret on the B string and the 13th fret on the G string. And then you do the whole thing again. And this time I'm sliding from the 7th fret to the 9th fret on both the B string and the G string. And then we move into the solo section, which actually has a really killer riff going on underneath it. The solo itself, I'll try to do in a separate video once again, if you guys really want that. But this is a really cool riff that's happening underneath Jimmy's solo. Pretty cool, funky kind of riff. And so the tab's up on the screen, but I'll just go ahead and play this really slow for you so you can kind of see the fingers that I'm using, and we can talk about a couple of different ways to play it. Now I choose to play this bit right here like this, using my ring finger and my pinky to kind of go back and forth and grab those two strings. But of course you're welcome to just do it like this. Whatever works best for you, I just like playing it that way. Now at the tail end of this riff, you do play the hammer on, but you don't play the open E string. You go straight to the ascending riff, which is actually an F sharp dominant 7th arpeggio. And that's played in harmony in thirds, so I'll talk about both of those parts right now. So first, to be clear about how you jump off of this funky riff. That's the ending of the riff, right? So again, you're just going to play the hammer on, okay? And you're going to go straight for the arpeggio. So I'm going to put both parts up on the screen. That's the main guitar, the root arpeggio, you can call it. It's an F sharp dominant 7th again. And then, of course, you go back to the... But again, that is tracked twice. There's two guitars in that, and the second guitar, however you want to look at it, is playing a harmony to the dominant seventh arpeggio. It's playing it in thirds, so everything is a third above. So it's fun just to know the harmony as well. You can play it either way. And so on. So the last section to cover here is the outro, and that comes off of all the main riffing that we've already been doing since the electric guitar came in. So that's simply added at the end of the main section. And it is played in full, okay? So you're just going between a D and a G chord with that riff in between. So again, a lot of the pocket in this song, the feel of this song, is based on that upbeat. And so I like to approach this riff in the same way. Up, up, up. And then go straight into alternate picking. So it's up, 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 down, up, down, up, down, up, 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 down, up, down, up, down, up. Over the Hills and Far Away, Part 2, the electric part from Zeppelin. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thanks for watching.